will be talking to the Minister of State Security, Ms. Ayanda Dlodlo, who joins me right now. Minister, you are a member of the security cluster. What are your preparations for today?
The preparations have started some time back, having looked at the threats that might arise, but also to ensure that we learn from what has happened in the past. We had our last meeting briefing the Speaker of Parliament and the team of the presiding officers. The officers from the SANDF and also from the police services and our people from State Security have put together a plan that will ensure that all of this goes out smoothly.
How do you avoid a disruption, though? We've seen disruptions in Parliament before.
Avoiding a disruption is one thing that is going to be difficult, but acting when a disruption does happen is what we're all prepared to do now.
So you will be firm in terms of implementing the rules of Parliament?
There has to be firmness because it's the State of the Nation address. It's an opportunity for the President to share with the public what it is that he is going to do in the next year to ensure that we improve the lives of our people. So if we're going to disrupt so that our people do not hear what is going to be said by the President, it is well within their right to hear what the President says, and nobody should be given the opportunity and the right to disrupt that.
But I'm sure you've seen in previous years where there have been disruptions and violence, that has kind of overshadowed the proceedings of the day. How do you avert that?
Well, it will overshadow if we do not act decisively as the security cluster. So acting decisively as the security cluster in support of the presiding officers to make sure that everybody is given the opportunity to hear what the President has to say is what we would need to be doing as the security cluster, and we are prepared and ready for that.
Minister, we come from a history of blocked signals in Parliament where people could not communicate when there were these said disruptions, where State Security was accused of all sorts of things. How do you avoid all of that? And can you assure us this time around that there will be nothing of the sort?
Well, I don't know what the reason for the blockage of signals at that point was. But this time, I can tell you now, there is no such threat that would force us into blocking signals. So no signal will be blocked. Everything will be smooth. People will be able to tweet what they think and what they hear, when share with their friends and family, and we will not be blocking any signals.
Minister, we also coming from a week where there have been reports about a break-in at the SSA headquarters or SSA offices in Littleton, which is supposed to be a high-security area. Obviously, that must be embarrassing for the government.
Not only embarrassing, but if you find yourself in a situation like this, you need to act decisively. And this is what we have done. We have reported the case to the police. We've avoided a situation where we internalize it and ask our internal security people to investigate. So the issue is with the SAPs, and it's also with the Hawks.
What was stolen, Minister?
Getting attention. Well, I have asked for the list of documents, specifically what documents it is that have been taken, but also the exact amount of money. Some figures are being bandied about, anything between 145 to 150,000, but I need the exact figure in the form of a report where I will then be able to hold people accountable.
Clearly, Minister, there are a lot of weaknesses at your office because this is the second time we have such a break-in. I think it was in 2015 where it was said that about 17 million was stolen. So clearly there must be some security breach. I mean, I'm thinking as an ordinary person that if at State Security you have such breaches of such a high level nature, how do you avert them then as an ordinary South African? How do you believe in you?
Well, it's not someone that came from outside and did a robbery and stole things from our agency. It is internal people. It is quite obviously an inside job, and what we need to be dealing with is that decisively. Ensure that we flush out those individuals that do not fit the profile of the kind of organization we're trying to build. We will be going through a vetting process, and if I would have it my way, I would have everybody in that organization vetted so that we can get rid of those...
Why don't you do that already?
So that we can get rid of those that are responsible for some of the malfeasance that we have experienced over time. But again, there are people that are very good in that organization that one would really want to develop and retain, and that's what we're going to do.
What do you think the motive was besides just criminal intent?
I think it was just theft.
No political reasons behind it?
I have no reason to believe it was political. I just think it was plain outright theft that needs to be dealt with.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister of State Security. That was the Minister of State Security, Ms. Ayanda Dlodlo, talking to us here about their preparations for today.